Hi, we're going to talk about mental resilience factors and helping you overcome some of this dark world syndrome related to politics, economics, what's going on in the world, COVID, the environment, all of this stuff, all of these media stuff. How does it make you feel? How does it affect you? How does it make your day different? How does it shade your world? All of this kind of stuff, it kind of holds you back, right? This is a video for talking about how to handle that, how to manage your own health and your own ability to do things in the face of all of these really frightening and scary things that are going on in the world. If you're into personal growth and development, these are the kind of videos that we do. Please like and subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want some notifications. So where do I start with this? I'm a part of the trans community. I assume you're probably a part of the trans community too, or maybe you're kind of like interested in it. When things happen in politics, you hear about them, especially when it's related to anything to do with being trans, right? And the far left and the left will spin up a lot of stories and doom and gloom stories about the right and what the right's doing and how it's going to take away our rights and all of that. And it's frightening, it's scary, but let's take a step back here and look at what's actually happening. Where is the war? Where is the battle happening? Is it in the streets? Is it in Congress? Where is it? This is kind of like a little weird, but I would say the battle is not actually in Congress or in these political systems. It's in here. It's all in here. It's over your mind. And when you view the battle and the whole system is a battle over minds and a battle over willpower and your ability to make good decisions and start framing it from a mental health perspective, I think it makes it a little easier for me to take a step back, because listening and absorbing more media that's frightening and scary to you, what's that going to do? How's that going to affect you? Do you think it's going to make you better at focusing, making good decisions about your life, thinking about things that you should be thinking about that are going to help move you forward? It's probably not. And this is kind of the point, how I see it. If you're at a dinner table and you're the rich man at the dinner table and everyone else, the 99 other people, are not that 1% of 1%, you're going to kind of look at this table and say, wow, all of these people are going to realize that I am the enemy if they band together and realize this and then gang up on me. So what I need to do is I need to get them to find differences in each other and to fight each other over random stuff that isn't actually meaningful, but I can create a belief that it is meaningful, and therefore they start to create divisions and subdivisions and cultures and subcultures that oppose each other. And that way they just stay distracted and they stay occupied. It's the classic divide and conquer rule. So when you think about what's going on in politics, especially around trans people and the funding that goes into trans or against trans politics, I mean, what do we represent? We represent 1% of the population. We're not a huge issue, which is weird to say because, of course, I care about trans issues, but why are we not talking about the environment? Why are we not talking about making political changes of how we consume our energy? Why is that not the focal point? We spend more time talking about things to do with gender and babies, which are important, but why are we not talking about the fact that we have 20 or 30 years left till we've run out of resources or we've run out of water or something like along those lines, right? Doesn't that seem more important? Like, who cares about your feelings if you can't even eat, if you can't even drink water, if most people are dying because they can't get health care or they can't get a leg up and find a house or a place to live? Like, this affordable housing crisis is another crisis. So, like, things are not relative to actually what is important, in my opinion. And second of all, there's this war going on to distract and keep everyone separated and pointing fingers at each other and creating arbitrary lines of differences. Because if you look at people's differences economically, most people are within the same bucket. They have a certain amount of money, and there's not a lot of difference now that everyone's a lot less racist. So what you got to do is you got to find a new difference. Now people are fighting over gender, or people are fighting over the ability to have babies, which is dumb, or people are fighting over sexuality. Do you really care about that kind of stuff if you can't drink water, or you can't eat, or you don't have a roof over your head? I don't think you would care. Like, now we're talking about survival. And at this moment, things are okay, but I think that in the long run, things are not looking so good. So we need to remain focused on what's important, especially what's important in your life, to make sure that you set yourself up for success and that you're taking care of yourself. I don't know, this is touching a lot of topics. How are you feeling about this? Is it triggering you? Is it going off the deep end? I'll probably have to wind it back and kind of like sum it up like this. Take a step back from what's happening and focus on what you can focus on, what you can actually do. Because what happens in Congress, what happens in the voting, what happens on a macroeconomics level, you don't have control over, right? So there's no point in fretting about it. There's no point in consuming more media that's just going to make you more upset and take away from your energy to do something else. Do you think an hour reading news articles and then posting it on your Instagram stories and sharing it and sending it to people is going to have that much of an effect versus an hour of your time writing a letter to someone that you love and telling them that you love them, or spending an hour learning a new skill and developing something that can help you in your career and grow as a person, or spending an hour investing what you have into something that can help you grow your wealth. Like, the quality of your decisions get worse and worse the more stress you're under. And if I was in control and I was doing things from a sinister perspective, I would want to damage mental health so much so that you can't make good decisions, that you fight other people, that you don't pay attention to what I'm doing because you're paying attention to what the media is saying, which if I have all the money, I have control over the media and what the story and the discourse is. Because the news is no longer news. The news is constructed stuff that just says it's news and says that it's worth talking about, and so we talk about it, but it's not actually the news. What is important and what we do need to talk about doesn't change, but it's not interesting to hear the same news. Oh, today we've used more carbon and we've wasted more energy and we haven't made much progress towards saving the world, and the icebergs are melting and more polar bears are dying and we're slaughtering more animals in cruel ways and we're cutting more of the rainforest down, and we are not changing the way that economics works regarding like housing and affordability, and we're not changing workers' rights or making things better for people who work. Like, all of this stuff is the same news every day, but no one's going to talk about it because it's not that exciting compared to what the news can spin up around people that are fighting and stuff. So this is definitely a rant, and I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I'd love to hear your thoughts because I'm sure you have a lot of thoughts on this. This was totally not a politically correct thing, and there you go. Do with it what you will. Just remember, take a step back, don't consume too much, and focus on what you can control, because that's going to move you forward, and you have more energy to spend helping others when you do that. Okay? I love you. I'll see you in another episode soon. Bye.